Hello and welcome to this lesson. In this particular lesson, we are going to be learning compound and complex sentences. This concept is extremely important for your writing and speaking test. So please pay attention for the next few minutes and you're going to learn this concept forever. Okay? Before we start with compound and complex sentences, it is essential that you learn the building blocks first. Okay, so understand what these compound and complex sentences are made of. So once you learn that, the advanced concepts are going to become easier, right? So that building block of compound and complex sentences is called clauses. Okay, now what are clauses? Let's learn that. A clause is basically a string of words that contains a subject and a verb phrase. Okay, subject and a verb, that's your clause. These clauses can be of two types now. One, it can be an independent clause or it can be a dependent clause. Either of these. Okay. Next, you will ask me what is an independent clause and what is a dependent clause, right? So let's discuss that. Take this example. Though it was raining, I walked to work. Okay. So you can clearly see that there are two clauses here. Though it was raining, this is one clause. I walked to work, this is another clause. Okay. So out of these two clauses, which is that one clause that can exist separately as an independent sentence? It can exist just independently. You do not require anything else with it. Which one of these can exist independently? Clearly, I walk to work. These set of words can exist independently, right? I can simply say in general that I walk to work. Okay? And I would be grammatically correct when I do that. That is your independent clause. Check the other one, though it was raining. I cannot simply say though it was raining and stop. I can't put a full stop, can I? Because it's incomplete, right? You need something else. Therefore, that is your dependent clause. Now, why is it called dependent clause? Because it is depending on some other clause for completion. That's why. The other clause, Mark 2, I walk to work, this is an independent clause because it can exist independently. Okay, simple concept of dependent clause and independent clause. Now let's move to the advanced concepts. Now let's learn about compound sentences. Okay, now in a particular sentence, if there are only independent clauses, okay, then you call them compound sentence. Only independent clauses. They can be two or more. Check this sentence. It was raining. Okay, it was raining, and I had forgotten to take an umbrella. Now, what's happening? It was raining. I can say this independently. So, this is my independent clause. Similarly, I can say I had forgotten to take an umbrella. Again, I can say this independently too. Therefore, two independent clauses coming together. This is your compound sentence. Usually, when you use fanboys conjunctions, you will create compound sentence. Now, what are fanboys conjunctions? Fanboys stands for and, nor, but, or, yet, so. When you use these conjunctions, you will end up forming compound sentences. So this is a very good hack. Try to use these conjunctions. Okay, look at this. I was hurt by his words, yet I decided to support him. Look at the first independent clause. I was hurt by his words. This can be one clause independent. I decided to support him. This can also exist independently. Two independent clauses coming together by the conjunction yet. Compound sentence. There you go. Okay, pretty simple now. Take another example. I wanted to stay at home, but there was too much work to do. I wanted to stay at home. This is independent clause number one. There was too much work to do. Again, this can also exist independently. Independent clause number two. Both of them coming together by the fanboys conjunction, namely but. Okay, so pretty simple. Now you know how to frame compound sentences. Now let's go and learn complex sentences. Now, if a sentence has at least one dependent clause, then it's a complex sentence. Very easy. Look at this. Although Gurleen faced problems in writing, she scored 7.5 in her first attempt. Now, she scored 7.5 in her first attempt is your independent clause. Why? Because it can exist separately, right? But can you say this? Although Gurleen faced problems in writing and then put a full stop there? Well, you can't. It's incomplete, right? So you're using a dependent clause. So there you go. Your complex sentence is ready because you used at least one dependent clause, right? So remember this, just like how you had fanboys conjunctions for compound sentences, you have something called subordinating conjunctions for complex sentences. Okay? Like, look at all these conjunctions: although, even though, while, since, when, whereas, who, which, whose, all these vary. This is definitely not an exhaustive list. There are several other subordinating conjunctions, but as a starting point, you can just keep this in mind, and you will be able to form complex sentences as well. Okay? So I hope the concept of compound and complex sentences is clear, and now you are a step closer towards achieving the band scores of your choice. We also have a very detailed program called the GRASSROOT Gold program. It covers all the 4 sections: listening, reading, writing, speaking, grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation in detail, available on our mobile app and accessible on the web as well. You have weekend live classes every Saturday and Sunday, 8 to 10 p.m. We have 15 personal one on one reviews where your work is evaluated in detail and then you're explained everything over a call. Then you have unlimited doubt clearance. Any doubts, any questions you have personal mentors right beside you who are going to be with you in your journey, and only the chief coaches. Okay, no other faculties, just the chief coaches. You have ebooks on vocabulary, collocations, idioms, phrasal verbs, targeted ebooks that are going to help you study exactly what you need to, because otherwise English is a very vast ocean, right? You need to study exactly what you need from an IELTS perspective. Then you have 20 sectional mocks, 5 sectional mocks for each section, live class recordings of all the previous sessions even before you joined. You will have a strategy call. This is a one-on-one call before you even start your prep, so that we tell you exactly what you need to do, what's the kind of roadmap you need to follow, because every student has their own way of preparing. Okay, and all of this is valid for the next 6 months. It's a great exhaustive course, so do check out the link that is mentioned here. Do call us or WhatsApp us on the number given below, and we'll be happy to counsel you and then help you enroll as well. Wish you all the best. Bye bye.